happened for 2019 was we have 2 CDs out. This other company put this other CD entitled "At the Threshold." It's just now completed its marketing campaign, and it's been played all over the country. You know, we're getting them. I'm watching the royalty payments coming in, and you know, the funny, At the Threshold, I wasn't too thrilled because I couldn't choose the music. The producer for that label chose all of the music, and he chose 4 of my compositions, but he chose the compositions I did back in the 90s, the 1990s. And I'm like, man, I said, this is 20, I don't came, far from that time, man. I'm writing better, but I had to do it. So I sat down and tried to rearrange some of the older material. And it really taught me a lesson. It's, because I said, this stuff isn't so bad. I shouldn't be so quick to discard my older material. And sure enough, some of these tunes, there's the title tune, "At the Threshold." The one that everybody really likes is called Mirandas Dance. It's like a Latin hybrid type of tune. And it's getting killer airplay right now. And I have one of my play sisters, I call her my play sister, she lives in Miami, Florida. And she was telling me that, I was coming home from work one day and this really nice tune came on the radio. I mean, she's a big jazz person. And I got home and it was still playing. I sat in my car. I said, I need to know who this is because I want to go out and get that CD. And then when they said Dale Fielder, Miranda's Dance, she said, I lost my mind. So it's getting really good airplay. These are older tunes, and and now it's good, but I still feel like what we're doing now is we're playing better than ever now. I feel like I'm writing better than ever now, and I just can't wait for the world to hear the new stuff on Consensus. And I just think it's the best recording we've ever done. It was mainly because I finally got everybody to do everything the way I asked them to do it. But we tried to do Element by bringing in a vocalist. But we use her totally different than most jazz vocalists operate. She functions more like a member of the band, and she does sing, the head to the tune and everything. But the way we try to integrate her in is the same way Jane would play, same way Bill would play. Bill Marcus, and I just think it's really great what's happening right now, and we got some really nice performances coming up, and like I said, the CD will go national in September. So we hope that this really puts us back on the map. We've had some really successful CDs in the past. We had a top 10 CD back, but it's been back in 1996. And we had a top 10 CD for 9 weeks, man, and basically that was the CD that put me on the map. It's the name of the CD is Dear Sir, tribute to Wayne Shorter, and I did a lot of Wayne's compositions, and this came out before anybody else started doing those tribute CDs, and Mr. Shorter heard of it, and they contacted me, and we were having a big CD release down here, and they said, could you reserve a table for 10 people for us? We'll be there. And I was just floored by that. So, and sure enough, Wayne showed up with his wife and partied. We even brought him up on the stage to say a few words, and that recording had his support, and it went international. Matter of fact, that's been my biggest selling CD, and it continues to sell today. And you can find them all on iTunes.
Yeah.
But let me. I know I'm just babbling. Let me let you ask me a question.
No, that's okay. It's good. That's what it's for, to talk, have a conversation. So you're good.
Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming performances with your band? Any upcoming gigs? Any?
Yeah. The one that we're looking forward to is there's a series called Just Jazz out here in Los Angeles, and it's pretty much the top jazz gig in LA. Besides, they pay a great fee for that to perform there. It's in the art gallery that's called Mr. Music Head Gallery. And it's only one. They do one once a week, every Wednesday. But part of Just Jazz is, if you go online, it's like justjazz.tv. They bring a camera crew that comes out with a multi-camera shoot, and they film the entire performance, and it's shown all over the world and everything. And matter of fact, the one they did this week was Greg Osby. So they bring in really big names from New York, and I really hated that because Greg's a buddy of mine, and I couldn't go because the 31st was my wedding anniversary, so I was actually out of town at the resort, but. So they bring people of that caliber, and we're going to be there August the 28th, and I'm really looking forward to that. Last October, I did my first gig in New York City in over 30 years. We performed at Fordham University. We did our own concert. That was it was written up in what is that thing called? Hot House, one of the New York City, the Jazz Record. And because of that article, a lot of people showed up. A lot of people who wondered whatever happened to Dale Fielder. They came out. So that was a big thing, and we're hoping out of consensus that we're working on trying to get back to Asia and Europe as well. So we just feel like a lot of wonderful things are on the horizon for the band, and and no matter what happens, we're still here, and we're going to always be here. We have certain places in LA that we could play like a home base, and so we're always working. And I got a new relationship with other people that I do outside of my own band, and recently I've hooked up with the great drummer Marvin "Smitty" Smith, and he's just did a concert at the Central Avenue Jazz Festival with his band. He has a 9-piece no net, and it's just great. And since we've been buddying around, and I had gotten I work with the Los Angeles County Department of Arts and Culture, and so I get a lot of concerts from them during the summer. They're free concerts, they pay the band really well, and we go around and go to the schools, or a lot of what I do is go into public libraries, and they set these things up. And the budget was, they just wanted to do a trio, so I asked Smitty, would he play drums? And he's surprised. He's like, yeah. So we had one of the great, probably the top 5 drummers in jazz playing in your band. I mean, that was just incredible. Matter of fact, I just started posting some of the video from that on my YouTube channel, so you can go there and go into the playlist section and look for Kudu Hay Library and see some of the performances with Smitty, along with my bass player Bill Marcus, and and it's certainly in a trio setting, it's really challenging because I'm just so used to Jane providing all that harmonic structure for me, So, and of course, in a trio, you have to provide your own harmonic movement, which is very difficult on an instrument that only plays one note at a time. So it's like the line you play, you have to be able to. You have to slow down your improvisation. Where if you have a piano, you don't have to worry about that. You can just kind of like go crazy. But I found that you lose your listeners if they can't tell the trio setting. They can't hear the movement of the tune and the music. So you have to slow things down a little bit and play in a more melodic way. And that was really challenging and fulfilling at the same time. And it's really very helpful having a great drummer like, Marvin Smitty Smith behind you playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. We have a lot of plans for the future. The last CD is titled Consensus, as I keep mentioning. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of a concept that I'm working on because I think for next year, we know for sure we're going to be doing things to mark our 25th anniversary early in 2020. But later in the year, I'm putting this CD was sort of the harbinger for a new band that I'm trying to put together that's built out of the Dale Fielder Quartet. It has all of the quartet members plus Rita Edmond, our vocalist. But I'm going to be adding a guitarist and a percussionist. We're doing, we're kind of working on like a new type of jazz. It's more. I feel that it meets the contemporary jazz market, without actually being like a smooth jazz. We're not smooth jazz. We're, which is just instrumental R&B. I basically I am utilizing what I call a pulse rhythm. Pulse rhythm is sort of like a quarter note or an even eight note rhythm, and you use that on the bottom to give the music more of a groove as opposed to a walking bass line in the traditional jazz swing. So you have the pulse rhythm going on the bottom, and of course that forces the bass he can't really walk, so he has to almost play more in the contemporary style. But you have that on the bottom. That's what draws in the younger audiences because they like to hear grooves. They respond more to grooves than they do to swing, And but we have a highly sophisticated harmonic structure that's on top of that. I mean, chord changes galore, changes not unlike like giant steps or something like that. Very challenging and not just 2 or 3 chords, but just many chords. And then on top of the melodic structure, we don't change anything the way we're doing. I don't care how. So I'm basically playing Charlie Parker on top of all of these grooves, And it's just really interesting. The first cut of Consensus is a tune I wrote called Intrigue. And when you listen to that, that's sort of in this new mode of composition, that I'm writing. And we're looking in middle of next year to work on getting a whole CD of those type tunes out. What I'm going to do, Trey, I'm going to email you a link to Consensus, and where you can listen to the full tracks of and just know that track number 1 is the type of new jazz that I'm talking about. So it's right there in the beginning, and I mean everything's copyrighted, so you feel free to include it in your broadcast or your podcast or. But I'm going to get that to you right away.
Okay, great. That sounds good. I can't wait to hear it.